All right, guys, if you have something to record, you just put up there, go ahead. All right, Coach, will start us off, and we'll go to some questions.
Okay, I'm really proud of our team in that, this was not one phase or one aspect. This was a lot of different players, making plays tonight and making plays at some pretty critical moments. I thought, Cedric Baxter, coming up and the opportunity he got and to go, for 117 yards and hard yards against that defense. I thought a variety of guys making plays in the passing game. Clearly the tight ends showed up when we needed them. Xavier with some great ops, and it's unfortunate for AD, having the touchdown call back, and he got the one PI, and I don't know about a couple other calls. Jordan Winnington with some great plays, a 2-point conversion, the touchdown catch. So, and then Jaden Blue, on 4th and 1, and he's the guy that seals the victory there. So a lot of different guys on offense. I think on defensively, our front did it again. Byron Murphy with some really critical stops there on 3rd down, and then Tavondre Sweat showed up again, and what a huge play on the blocked extra point for 2 points there, and what an interception for Jaron Thompson. It's unfortunate because we played really good defense in the second half, but on the 4th and inches they throw the pop pass to the tight end, and that's really all they had. So I really thought we controlled the game. We again, to get 2 touchdowns called back and you fumble on the 9-yard line going in, and you still win a football game by 10 points, and possess it at the end, and we were able to run it when they knew we were going to run it. Really proud of our guys, and I'm proud of those same 3-year guys that I keep bringing up, that I keep talking about, because we were here 3 years ago, and this was a tough scene, and I think that was a moment when the program started to change after that. But that was a long week for us that year, and that was a tough night to endure. So to come back kind of on our farewell tour and to get some redemption here is a big one. So I'm like I said, I'm happy for the guys. I'm happy for our coaches and everybody involved, but we're not done yet. We got another big game this Friday, and we need to get back, and we need to get as healthy as we can to put our best foot forward to try to secure our opportunity to play in the Big 12 championship.
Go to some questions. Start over here with Eric.
The play of your defensive tackles has been outstanding all year, but just particularly tonight, 21 attempts, 9 yards from Iowa State. Just expand on the play of Sweat and Murphy, kind of answering the bell.
Yeah, they just, first of all, I don't know why you'd ever call them out. I'd be the last thing I would do if I was getting ready to play us, but that was their choice to call them out and to call out our culture. Quite frankly, that's how we took it. And so I thought our players did a nice job of staying focused on what we needed to do, and particularly those 2 guys. They went into the game and focused on what they needed to do, and that was dominate the line of scrimmage, the interior of the line of scrimmage, and that allowed everybody else to play. And it allowed our backers to play over the top of things. Again, when you look at our 3 leading tacklers in the game, Anthony Hill, David Benda, Jalen Ford, 18 tackles with those 3 guys means they're not getting blocked, and they're able to go make plays. So as much as they impacted the D-line at the line of scrimmage to make plays, they also freed up guys to make plays. And so those guys continue to show up. They just are – and not only are they great players, they're great leaders. These guys are, Tavondre Sweat, Byron Murphy. You go in that locker room, that's their locker room, and they follow the messaging that we try to provide. And so as much as they are the players, who they are as leaders.
Steve, was the reason that Tavondre and Byron were captains today, was that
Very intentional.
And then what was kind of their mindset going into this game?
I wanted them to walk to the middle of the field so they could see them. I wanted them to look at 90 and 93, and they showed up. And so their mindset was, we got challenged, okay, let's go play.
Coach, did you get a sense that Jordan Winton might have a big game? Got his first touchdown, had that play on the 2-point conversion.
Well, Jordan's been playing really good football for us, and he's been open, but sometimes you're not the primary or the quarterback gets flushed, and he's been doing a great job of winning versus man coverage. He does so many little things for us. You can point to last week of him, causing that fumble and regaining control of the game the way that he did. Does so many things for us, and we just kind of felt like at some point his time's going to come. Naturally, that third and short touchdown pass was really designed for him. He does so much blocking, did a nice job coming in like he was getting ready to block, and then took off, and Quinn with a nice ball there. And the 2-point conversion was obviously designed for him that way. So, again, we have a multitude of guys that can make plays for us at critical moments, and he's just one of those guys that I can count on him. And that's one thing about 13. You can count on him to do what we need to do. We're running the ball there at the end of the game, and he's at the point of attack again, blocking and creating running lanes for our runners to get first downs. Yeah, I love it for these guys. When you go through what we went through in year one, and some somber locker rooms and some tough moments and some hard coaching, and for those 3-year guys to continue to buy into what we were talking about. But then, like I talked about even before the season, we were trying to build a culture that we thought could be part of the winning formula here, and when I got here, you don't know why you get hired. Everybody gets hired for a reason, but then you got to try to figure out how can you take it somewhere else. And we just felt like the culture piece was going to be so critical as we were going through year one, that going into year two, we invested in the culture. Going into this year, we continue to invest in the culture. But to the credit to those guys in the locker room, they took all of that, and then they took it to another level where I thought, man, if we could just get this thing right, the talent that we have, we're going to be pretty tough. But now they've gone to a whole nother space. They're so close. They're so tight that I really, you say this, I think a lot of people say it, but our guys play with love for one another. They're not just, competing together. Like, they're brothers. And, I still save the quote, that 5-star culture versus 5-star players. Well, now we have both. Then that's a pretty cool thing to be able to say. I'm sure Cedric's got plenty for me.
Kind of building off of Cedric's question, when sometimes when coaches in here in programs, they complain about the guys that they inherit. You never did. They could always talk about we got to recruit and wait 3 years. You never did. What was it about you embracing the guys that you had and working with them as opposed to discarding them like many coaches do?
Well, first of all, I thought you find out about, okay, they're pretty talented. And as we went through the process in year one, I remember getting asked, has everybody bought in or things of that nature? And I'd be honest with you guys. I'd say, I don't know. You'd have to ask them, because I knew, quite frankly, not all of them were. And it was sorting through the guys that continue to show up through it all. And I appreciated that about those guys that are still in that locker room that have been here for 3 years. Like, we owe everything to those guys, because they're the ones that were the catalyst when the new players came in, that were teaching them, hey, this is how it goes. This is what coach is looking for. This is why we do this, or this is why we run in the summer when it's 130 degrees and DKR at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And we were building not just physical toughness, but mental toughness, and they were doing it together. And that's the bond that you build. And this is the ultimate team sport. We don't play tennis, right? It's not an individual sport. It's about the team. And when we could get over that hump and get the idea of, it's we, not me. Like, the better we do, the more the individual accolades come. It doesn't go the other way around. You don't get individual accolades and then the team has success. It's about the team success, and then you get those individual accolades. And to those guys' credit, they bought into that idea. And we haven't been perfect at it, but we've learned and grown from any mishaps that we've had. And that's a credit to them. All I can do is try to instill it into them and the coaches, but they had to buy into it. Those leaders had to buy into it, and they had to overcome when maybe a guy was getting sideways and pull him back in, or say, you know what, coach, he's not right for us. We need to move on. And that's okay too. But I listened to them because they had the pulse of that locker room.
Joe?
Third quarter, that first play of the fourth quarter, went 6 of 8, almost 50 yards. What was the reason behind it being so effective on offense in that third quarter?
Well, we just wanted to remain aggressive, and we felt like we were starting to run the ball enough there to where we felt like the play pass could come to life a little bit. And then getting Gunnar Helm out the back door for the touchdown pass. The guys just executed it beautifully. Protection was awesome. The 2 receivers into the boundary did a nice job of clearing that out, and then Gunnar was able to come out the back door right there. But I thought probably even bigger than that drive was after they hit the long touchdown on 4th down, to get the ball and then to possess the ball and to drive it down the field and to get that field goal. I thought was a really big drive in the game, and Bert Auburn, does it again, 3 for 3, with field goals and some big kicks. That kick at the end of the first half was a heck of a kick, to just give us a little bit of life coming into the locker room to have the lead 6-3. So, like I said, all phases, in my opinion, today showed up. Your kicker goes 3 for 3. You block an extra point, get 2 points there. And then even when we got pinned back, I thought every time we got pinned back, we found our way out of our own end and weren't giving them just really good field position when we were getting pinned inside the 10.
Got 3 last ones, Leah?
Jordan Whittington had his first touchdown reception of the season tonight. Just what was working for him? He was obviously a big-time player in Israel.
Long overdue. Probably deserved a touchdown well earlier in the year. So super happy for Jordan. And Jordan has been like I said, he's been fighting it. He hasn't been quite 100%, but he just continues to show up. And he was probably open even more than that tonight. But again, the ball goes different places, and understandably so. But again, he's a warrior, And I think there wasn't a guy on our sideline when Jordan Whittington scored that didn't want to go celebrate with him, because they know how much he means to this team and what he does for the team.
Coach, a couple players got banged up this game. Jatavion. Saw that Xavier, where they exited the game, maybe in the fourth quarter. Do you have any updates on that? What happened?
I don't think any of them are going to be serious, but clearly they were serious enough to where they were out for a little bit of time. DJ Campbell was in that mix. But again, our depth showed up. Jatavian goes out, DJ Campbell goes out, Xavier goes out in the fourth quarter, and other guys were able to step up. And we're going to have to get as healthy as we can. We got to have a heck of a dogfight on our hands next Friday night.
Last one on your right, Coach Max.
Coach, you mentioned kind of feeling a sense of redemption compared to this game 2 years ago here. Heard some fans changing Bo Davis and stuff. In hindsight, do you feel like that game was a little bit of a turning point?
It felt ugly in the moment. We didn't play very good, kind of got our butts kicked, and it was one of those moments that I guess in a weird way, fortunately, that situation on the bus got out. But I think you could feel the passion in Bo's voice of what all of this means to all of us as we came into this program and what we were trying to do. And Bo made it very clear, we're here to win championships, and we're here to compete for championships, and that's day in and day out. And it's not just Saturday night on the road. We compete every single day. The work that we do, throughout the week to prepare for these moments, that's what I think Bo was trying to get across. And the fact that people remember that, I think, is a good thing. I joke with Bo all the time that CDC's getting ready to put a statue up above him right there outside the north end zone there, because it meant a lot to our program. And I think it meant a lot to a lot of the players in that locker room, because from the sounds of it, that might have been going on. And the fact that we were able to put a stop to that and change the direction and the trajectory of our program, and it doesn't happen overnight. That was just the starting point. And then we had to continue to build off of that for years, right, to get to this point.
Nice, Coach.
All righty, guys. Thank you.
Hang tight, everybody.